So they are based on current findings and developments. They are based on current findings and developments. They are based on current findings and developments in the society, making up the news. They are based on current findings and developments in the society, making up the news. Short story. Short story. The least in volume of all categories of prose. The least in volume of all the categories of prose. The least in volume of all the categories of prose. The least in volume of all the categories of prose. The least in volume of all the categories of prose. With very few characters. With very few characters. Very few characters, comma, settings and events. With very few characters, settings and events. What's up? The short story has between 3,000 to 7,000 words. The short story has between 3,000 to 7,000 words. Novel. Novel. This is the most voluminous category of prose. This is the most voluminous category of prose. This is the most voluminous category of prose. What's up? It is fictional. It is fictional. It is fictional. Full stop. It is a complex extended story. It is a complex extended story. It is a complex extended story that explains human experience. A complex extended story that explains human experience through a connected sequence or events. Through a connected sequence or events. The novel contains a lot more than 40,000 words. The novel contains a lot more than 40,000 words. The novel contains a lot more than 40,000 words. Right. As a complex work, the novel parades the following common elements. The novel parades the following common elements. I think I'll ask questions on this part. The novel parades the following common elements. The novel parades the following common elements, which are the novel parades the following common elements, which are plot, character, setting, themes, narrative techniques, themes, narrative techniques, and characterization. Next one is fable. Said fable. This is a fictional work. It's a fictional prose work. In which animals are characters representing human beings. It's a fictional prose work in which animals are characters representing human beings. It's a fictional prose work in which animals are characters representing human beings. Animals are characters representing human beings. Next one is faction. Faction. Romance. I said faction. I would have gone back to do my romance. Why are you disturbing me? So romance. Romance. It's a fictional prose. It's a form of fictional prose. It is a form of fictional prose whose story is centered on lovers and their love life. Whose story is centered on lovers and their love life. Whose story is centered on lovers and their love life. Okay. We have faction. Faction. This is a unique form of prose. Unique form of prose. It's a unique form of prose. Unique form of prose. Telling both fictional and non-fictional stories in one book. Telling both fictional and non-fictional stories in one book. Telling both fictional and non-fictional stories in one book. Telling both fictional and non-fictional stories in one book. Telling both fictional and non-fictional stories in one book. Next one is Gothic novel. Gothic novel. This describes a form of fictional prose work which is horrible in nature. Form of fictional.
In such work, the readers are made to see. Appearances of ghosts. Readers are made to see appearances of ghosts. Like blood. Rays.
Demons. Vampires, zombies, and more. Vampires, zombies, and more. Vampires, zombies, and more. The following are examples of Gothic novel. The following are examples of the Gothic novel. Go on. The Castle of Otranto. The Castle of Otranto. The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. And Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. And Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. And Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Next one is metafiction. Is it? Okay. If you read The Castle of Otranto, if you are not strong, you won't be able to sleep in your room at night. You know, very interesting book, but scary. Wuthering Heights, the same thing. What? The same thing, but you know, Lockwood at the point. Lockwood, if you read this book, crazy guy. Lockwood visits the landlord. Lockwood lives in Thrushcross Grange. Thrushcross Grange, and his landlord lives in Wuthering Heights. The name of the house is Wuthering Heights. The person that wrote this book died at the age of 30. Small girl. 30. I don't know what's happening in their family. All the siblings. The other one died at 39. The other one 29. And one 31. But it's a masterpiece. Lockwood visits the landlord, Heathcliff. Heathcliff said, I've told you not to visit me again. You don't want to hear. And as he was going home that night, Joseph carried the lantern following. You know, okay, collected the lantern, going on his own. And the dogs, they released the dog to chase him. The dogs beat him, beat his neck, and he ran back to the house. Heathcliff said, I told you. And it wants to rain, so you're going to sleep here. All right, Zilla, take care of him. Zilla is the maid. Say, sleep with Joseph in his room, or sleep anywhere, but don't sleep in a particular room there. It's all right. Okay, didn't tell him. Just sleep with Joseph in his room. And Zilla takes him to one room. He said, sleep here. The master does not want people to enter here, but just stay here. And he enters. He on his candle. He's looking at everywhere. You see where they wrote Catherine Henshaw, Catherine Heathcliff, Catherine Linton. Who is this Catherine? Is it the woman I saw out there? This place looks somehow. He picks up one book. He reads the book. Picks up another one. And he picks up Catherine's diary. You know, Papa was not around and he left us. He went to Liverpool and he picked up H, brought H home. Many things have been happening. My brother Henry does not like H. Who is H? Who is H? Who is Catherine? All right. And he puts the candle down. All of a sudden, the candle burned the diary. As he burns the diary, try to off it. I want to sleep now. Then he hears window. Somebody's knocking at the window. Said, who is there? He said, please, I want to come in. For 20 years, I've not entered my room. Can I please come in? He said, what? You cannot come in now. He said, please, I want to come in. And as he put his hand to lock the window, the hand held his hand like this. He dragged it and blood came out. He said, please, this is my room. I want to come in. Very scary book, you know. The room belongs to Catherine. When Catherine's father was the owner of the house. But as he died, Heathcliff later acquires the house and is the landlord of the house. Heathcliff does not like Hindley. Very interesting book which you need to pick up, and but students are scared because of tiny writing, tiny characters. You like tiny character? Okay, you are scared of things like ah. Okay. Some students say the book is too tiny, that they cannot that the book is too voluminous, you know. But if I can take my time to narrate this story, you like to read the book. You like to read the book. She did not enter. The guy had to lock the door. He locked the door, he run outside of the house. Master said, what's happening? You know, Heathcliff don't even sleep. Heathcliff is troubled. The man is always in the sitting room. What happened? He said, I told you not to sleep in that room. What's your problem? I don't like visitors in this house. Stay here till day breaks. And he says that. He's going home. He said, this is my last time to visit through the night. The master told me not to come, but I did not hear. And he left. Things started turning around. Heathcliff is always troubled. And one day, what's her name? Nellie Dean. Nellie Dean is one of the narrators too. Nellie Dean told Heathcliff, he said, Master Lockwood, you won't understand what is happening. This is Thrushcross Grange, and that is Woodry Night. The master asked me to stay here to monitor this house. He does not want to sell it, but he puts you here as a tenant. But how is the master the owner of that Thrushcross Grange? And why is somebody shouting, I'm Catherine, let me in? And I saw Catherine Henshaw, Catherine Heathcliff and Catherine Layton. Oh, it's a long story. You see, our master, the master that was paying my mother before they gave birth to me, the master is Mr. Henshaw, a very nice man, good man. He had a wife and he gave birth to 2 children, Hindley and Catherine. You see the flashback now? Hindley and Catherine. Okay, then what happened? Where is the master? Why is this other master the owner of the house? You say, oh, this master is not the owner of the house. But what happened is this. My own master, I was a little child. My mother was his maid. The point my mother died when I was a little bit grown, and I became the maid in this house. And one day the master was traveling to Liverpool. He told the children, and he traveled to Liverpool. Returning, did not buy what the children asked him to buy, but he came back with your master in that house. One little boy, very dirty looking. He said he picked him in the street of Liverpool. I could not just leave him, that maybe kidnappers abandoned him there, and he brought him home. And Catherine and Hindley, they never loved the boy. He said, you made our father not to buy me my horsewhip. You made him not to buy me what I asked him to buy. They hated him. He said, Father, why will you bring a black boy to the house? Why will you bring this gypsy who don't like him? And they name him Hish. His name is Heathcliff, but Catherine liked calling him Hish. You know, boys and girls, no matter how hard it is, they will still get close. But boy and boy will never get close. So Hindley hates Heathcliff, but at a point, Catherine gets close to Heathcliff, and they become very close. Remember, they are not related. So Catherine, if you give Heathcliff the chance, he would have loved to marry Catherine, but he has taken Catherine as a sister. But he's always angry if he sees anybody close to Catherine. Then during Christmas time, Hindley and Catherine, they visit Thrushcross Grange. That's a nearby house, a little bit far. They visit Thrushcross Grange. That place is the house of Mr. Linton. It's a neighbor to them. Mr. Linton has 2 children, Edgar and Isabella. So let's just say Edgar is a friend to Hindley, Isabella a friend to Catherine. And they go there to play. One day while they were going, they also took Heathcliff along. As they got there, Edgar and Isabella and their father said, who is this? This is not a human being. Oh, it's too black. Why are you playing with such a person? The guy becomes very angry. He left them. He came back home. Nellie Dean, that maid, he said, Heathcliff, you don't need to be angry. Come, let me dress you up. And he put on fine clothes on Heathcliff. He said, you know, I'm doing it so you don't know if your father was an emperor somewhere and they kidnapped you in a ship and they put you on the street of Liverpool. You don't know who you are. Maybe you are somebody great, but maybe one day you can still be great. Just raise up your shoulder. Be a big boy. Don't mind anything they are doing. And he's always taking care of Heathcliff, baiting him, doing him well. One day, the father died, their own father. The two fathers died. Now, before he died, the father always tells the children, what's your problem? Be kind to people. This boy does not have help, does not have anybody to help him. I'm just let's love him for where. They don't care. The father dies and the torture becomes intense. Hindley hates Heathcliff. Because of Heathcliff, he hates his sister. We lock the two of them inside the kitchen. You are not coming out and you're not eating anything. Okay. Then, what's his name? Hindley get married to Frances and they gave to Hetton. As they are, if you get to the house, Woodring Heights, you see the door. You write Hetton. That is, Hetton is supposed to be the new heir if anything happens now. As the story is going, little by little, Catherine and Heathcliff becomes like this. Anything that happened, Catherine will go to her diary, write something. Anything, write something. My father traveled, but did not come back. But one day, Hindley locked up myself and H inside the kitchen. He never let us out. Most of these things we are reading is that diary that is helping us, epistolary technique. Then, along the line, Hindley got married to Catherine. What was his name? My name, I say Hindley. Edgar Linton get married to Catherine. Hindley married Frances, and Frances give birth to Hetton. At a point, before that marriage and all that, all of a sudden, according to Nellie Dean she's the one narrating the story to Lockwood. It's okay, so that's good. So what really happened again? How did my master become the owner of these two houses? He said, your master is a desperate man. One day, we did not see the little boy again. We didn't see Heathcliff again. Just left. Then Master Hindley takes into drinking, gambling, and all that. Although he has already given birth to his son, Hetton. And as he's gambling, at a point, he gambled away the house, Woodring Heights. Nowhere to stay. Mortgagers are coming to chase everybody out. All of a sudden, we'll see Heathcliff come back with big money, with everything. We don't know how he made his money. And he rescued us. He bought the house. You see how the story changed now. What do we call that technique? Change of fortune. Is it anagnorisis or peripetia? You know, we have to. Peripetia is change of fortune. When someone's fortune changes, maybe they were supposed to kill you, and all of a sudden things change. You see, then anagnorisis is when you discover your true self. Did you really discover or fortune changes? I think the fortune is peripetia. So all of a sudden he came back. You see him, this time around, huge, tall. Listen, the only person he embraced is Catherine and Nellie Dean. He said, Hindley, how are you doing? He said, I'm fine. Oh, you take to drink. Okay, I need to stay. And he bought the house. And he sit down as the landlord. Say, right now, I'm going to punish you. You punished me. It's time to pay back. Along the line, Hindley dies. Say, Hetton, you are the son of Hindley. You are going to be working in the garden, be working as slave in this house. Say, it's my father's house. Hey, I'm the owner of the house now. Big trouble. He said, you, Linton, you got married to my Catherine. How dare you do that? And then the hatred becomes big. Because of that one too, he wants to start hating Catherine little by little for marrying an enemy. No, Heathcliff, I don't know if he's a villain. Is he really a villain or people caused him to be like that? So while that one is going on, we'll see. So Heathcliff is not happy, always silent on his own. Now he has not acquired Thrushcross Branch. Lockwood then was not in the picture then. I hope you understand this story. He was not in the picture. One day, he said, what do I do again? I want to punish this family. And he gets married to Isabella, the sister of Linton. He tells Isabella, I say, come, you're my wife. I married you so that I can have opportunity to punish you and your brother. Say, when I was small, you people were punishing me. We are married and nothing can destroy it, so you are in trouble. Because of that, the girl ran away to London. She escaped to London with pregnancy. As she gets to London, she gives birth to a child. The biggest mistake now is to name the child Linton and cause the child. If you read the book, you'll be seeing many. Take note, Catherine too gave birth to a child for Edgar and named the child Catherine. So if you're reading the book, you'll be confused based on the names we are seeing. We have 4 names that look alike. 2 Linton, 1 for the enemy, 1 for the other one. 2 Catherine. Now, right there in London, give birth to Linton. And she writes a letter. She comes, and the child is a sickler. Then she writes a letter when she also is very sick. Sent the letter to her brother. He said, Edgar, please, I would like Linton to stay with you. Don't allow the father to see him. I don't want Heathcliff to see my son. And the story moves like this. The father knew that the son is with the uncle. And Heathcliff pretends like a good man. And he goes to the house. See, Inley, we don't need to quarrel. I'm a nice man now. How's your wife? Your wife is fine. How's my son? Son, my wife, she was pregnant when she left, and I know my son is here. Can I please take my son home? I want to take care of my son. I want to give him good life. And he takes the son home. That boy suffer. And now, it furnishes his room, fine room, put TV, put everything, put him there. He said, I want to make you happy so that I can get what I want. Then he kidnaps Catherine, that small Cathy, kidnaps Cathy. He tricks Melody. The 2 of them, they visit the house to go and see the little cousin. He kidnaps Cathy, lock her inside the room, and said, this is your cousin, Linton. You are going to marry him now. On so day you marry him. The next plan, bring pastor, bring lawyer. The 2 of them, they got married because the boy will soon die. He never gives him drug, does not give him anything. He wants him to die. But I said, before you will die, because I don't like your name. Why would they give my enemy, give you my enemy's name? That it hates that his son. Well, so he does not give him anything. The boy is very sick, and they forced the marriage on them, and they got married, and the boy dies. And he said, now that you have married my son, everything that your father has that would have belonged to you is for my son. And now your name is Catherine Heathcliff. You see the game now. So the girl's father died. Catherine too died. That former Catherine that has that room. Catherine dies. Then Heathcliff said, now you're going to leave your father's house. You come to your husband's house, which is this wooden. He said, I don't want to go. Who are you? What's your problem? My son that died is the owner of the house, and I am the father, so move to that place. And the lady moved. The lady just sits in the parlor morning till night. She does not talk. She was always angry. Then Heathcliff put that house for rent. That's when Lockwood rents the apartment. You understand? So once in a while, Eli is going to Wooden Night to visit his landlord. That's how the story goes. But one day, we see Hetton and that's Catherine. This is an opportunity for 2 cousins to be in the same house. The 2 of them are working like slaves. They are not enjoying anything. Heathcliff always angry, does not have time for anybody, still planning what do I do next. He still want to make sure Hetton goes down. But as God may have it, the story keeps twisting. Then the 2 of them, they make plan. What do we do to this man? They can't kill him. One day Heathcliff became very sick. Melody said, and the master was very sick. And he went to his room that night to sleep. He didn't lock anywhere. He left the window panes open. When I peeped, I saw the master sleeping. That night it rained heavily. I came out after the rain. I looked. The window was still open. I just summoned up courage. He does not like people visiting him. He likes staying alone. So when I entered the room, I saw that water came into the room. Everywhere was wet. And I saw the master was just there. Water soaked the bed, soaked him. When I checked, his mouth was open, his eyes were open, and he was dead. You see how he dies now. Then after the death, those people, they got married on New Year Day. There is no whites. They can, so long as you're not brother and sister, you can get married. Hetton and Catherine, they made plans and they got married on New Year Day. And the house of the Woodenite came back to Catherine. Then Church Grant, came back to Hetton. Church Grant went back to Catherine. You understand the story. So the story ends. You see, so the death of Heathcliff, was he really worthy to die? Is he a wicked? Is he wicked? But he tried to pay back what they did to him. Okay, that's the point. That's what I told students. The father was, he would have just. No, that's the reality. I think, you know why they killed Heathcliff? Do you know why the author made him to die? I think the author tries to let people understand that you don't pay bad with bad. And his son was very strong. Wait, who can revenge like that? Can you revenge? But the book, is the book not interesting? It's interesting, interesting. So, but it's so painful. The lady died early. All right. I think we have to be in. Okay, we'll just finish Gothic novel. Let's see if we can do metafiction. Right. It's a fiction about fiction. This is a fiction about fiction. This is a fiction about fiction. It is a kind of novel. It is a kind of novel whose main message is to teach the art of novel writing. Whose main message is to teach the art of novel writing. Whose main message is to teach the art of novel writing. That's metafiction. It's a fiction of fiction. Whose main message is to teach the art of novel writing. It's not writing now. No, it's just searching something. Later now, you tell me that this is what you said that I wrote. Question that you ask me. Ah. No, if you keep pushing, you'll get improved. No, I'll still be working with you guys. You guys are crazy, you know. All right. The next one is plot. The plot is the structure of a work of art. It is the structure of a work of art. The plot is the structure of a work of art. This indicates that the plot of a story, this indicates that the plot of a story tells the readers or the audience, how a story is built or constructed. It tells the readers or audience how a story is built or constructed. Tells the readers or audience how a story is built or constructed. Full stop. The plot of a story can also The plot of a story can also mean the chronological, can also mean the chronological can also mean the chronological presentation, the chronological presentation, chronological presentation of the events, chronological presentation of the events, in a work of art. Full stop. It is the abridged version, abridged. It is the abridged version. It is the abridged version. It is the abridged version. It is the abridged version of an original work. What's your come? What's your problem? Next time you take this side. Don't be silly. It is the abridged version of an original work. Abridged version of an original work without leaving out. Of you are sleeping after now. Only you people eat today. Don't worry. Abridged version of an original work without leaving out the major characters, major settings, and major events. Major characters, major settings, and major events. Without leaving out the major characters, major settings, and major events. Without leaving out the major characters, major settings, and major events. Full stop. Next one is theme. Theme. I did not say theme. 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 The theme of a work of art. The theme of a work of art. The theme of a work of art. The theme of a work of art is the subject matter. The theme of a work of art is the subject matter. The theme of a work of art is the subject matter. The theme of a work of art is the subject matter. It is the main message. It is the main message It is the main message which the author is passing across. It is the main message which the author is passing across to the readers. It is the main message which the author is passing across to the readers. To the readers. It should be clearly understood that. It should be clearly understood. What? It should be clearly understood that every work of art should be clearly understood that every work of art must possess at least one theme. Must possess at least one theme. Must possess at least one theme. It should be clearly understood that every work of art must possess at least one theme. For example, first of for example, the theme of revenge. The theme of revenge. For example, the theme of revenge is a major one in which book? In Wuthering Heights. In Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It's a major one. Or is it not? Does it not have theme of revenge? Which other theme do you think we have there? I think we have the theme of love. There's love in there. No. Even love makes this guy to be doing what he's doing. Some people are madly in love. The likeness he has for Catherine. See, when Catherine dies, the room of Catherine, Heathcliff ensures that nobody enters that room. Does not want them to play with, just leave everything there. And he says, if he dies, that they should bury him close to Catherine. Who stop? Hey. You didn't put major one. You didn't put O-N-E. The theme of revenge is a major one in Wuthering Heights. What happened? Is it a play? You feel bad. Take his wife. It's not married. Before he came back, the girl was already married. Maybe he wanted to make money and come for the girl, but before he returned, an enemy has married the girl. Yes. He would have just let everything slide, but it just Nelly Dean said nobody knew how he made his money. You don't know whether he has gone to join some bad group. You understand? Say the man is so rich that they don't know how he made his money. Seriously. Yeah, and he's desperate to do anything. And considering the fact that, and again, then there was racism. Racism. See what they did to him when he was a little boy. If you read this book, you pity him. Those people at the point, they made their dog to pursue him. That is that Linton's family. During Christmas time, they didn't allow, the man of the house, he never allowed his children to play with the black boy. Yeah. And the black boy, in fact, the black boy is stronger than, is the one that is guiding them. If they are strolling, he'll be the one to lead Hindley and Catherine. You see, we lead them there, then they won't allow them to play together the moment they get there. There was a day that he took them there, he took the two siblings there, and he had to return home by himself. You see? If it's me, I would just remember the good things that their father did. It's not your wife. You were not married to her, man. No, you cannot just take that girl because Edgar Linton is educated and he's a man that knows the law too. He's white and he's white. Yes. You know, a black man, let me say, I think he's desperate. That's what I said, that he made, we don't know how he made it. We don't know the cult, the group he has put himself into. We don't know the group he has put himself into that is making him behave like this. You know? Although, that's what the storyteller wants. So, what? No, it has, go to YouTube, you see the movie. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Go to YouTube. Everything here, they are in films. Everything here. You see? Go there. Either you will see two types. Either you see, like this one is normal pure movie. This one has movie. You know the woman that acted Woman King? She acted as Rose in this movie. This Fences. She's the one that did Rose here. Look Back in Anger has movie. All of them. All this book. All of them. Let Me Die Alone. Lion and the Jewel. All of them. What? Yes, plenty. It has both the movies and stage play. Plenty of them. Yes, that one has movie. Even the one that he pulled off his tour, they've acted it as Super Story. You know Super Story? That's other production. They've used the Gods Are Not to Blame to do Super Story many years ago. Yeah. So every book these days now, they do their movies. So you can go to YouTube later, download the one you like. Another beautiful one, if you can download the Castle of Otranto. What? Yes, I have my movies too. I have more of movies. I have some of my clips there. You know, Nigerian people, they like to watch free this thing. I'm still working on doing things on that, but I'm going to see things coming up soon. So, all right, the next one is certain. In literature, setting is all about place and time. Setting is all about place and time. In literature, setting is all about place and time. Setting is all about place and time. In literature, setting is all about place and time. So this means that there are two types of setting. This means that there are two types of setting. This means that there are two types of setting, which are the place setting and the time setting. Which are the place setting and the time setting. Which are the place setting and the time setting. The place setting and the time setting. We'll stop. The place setting talks about the place setting talks about the location of the events in the story. The place setting talks about the location of the events in the story. The location of the events in the story. The place setting talks about the location of the events in the story. The location of the events in the story. First of all, it is also called spatial setting. S-P-A-C-I-A-L. It is also called spatial setting or spatial setting. S-P-A-C-I-A-L or S-P-A-T-I-A-L. That's two spelling. Spatial setting. The time setting, on the other hand, it's also called the temporal setting. T-M-P-O-R-A-L. It's also called the temporal setting. The time setting is also called the temporal setting. T-M-P-O-R-A-L. Also called the temporal setting, which is when the events in the story take place. Which is when the events in the story take place. Which is when the events in the story take place. which is when the events in the story take place. Full stop. Now, if you agree that is place setting, urban setting, rural urban setting. Rural setting, urban setting, rural urban setting. Rural setting is without village setting, hamlet and all that. The urban setting, as setting towns and cities with sophisticated life. Rural urban setting cuts across the two. They act here, they move to that side, they act here, That is it. All right. Character. 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 You know characters. They are the figures. They are the figures created by the author. They are the figures created by the author. They are the figures created by an author. They are the figures created by an author to speak and perform actions. Created by an author to speak and perform actions in a work of art. To speak and perform actions in a work of art. A-R-T.
Characters are those who speak the words and perform and reveal the mind of the audience.
Hey. Hey, Jesus. That one. Hope you've heard that they fought for me. For what you're trying to say is you're trying to say something like the characters they reveal the mind of the author to the audience or to the readers. And you will be writing nonsense inside your notes. How would they reveal the mind of the audience to the actor? What are you saying? They reveal the mind of the author to the audience or readers. If it's drama, they reveal it to the audience. If it's prose, they reveal it to the readers. Now that we are saying it, you didn't even correct it. You still left it there. So that you don't mislead yourself. I can't drop. All the definitions are still going the same way. If you understand. I've said all of this before. So, the characters in any work of art, they are those that put life in the work. You understand? Characters are elements of literature, which means that in turn, every genre of literature, characters are usually elements there. You see, without character, you cannot do any one. Is there any poem that does not have characters inside? Have you seen anyone? Yes. Yeah. Okay, watch. Listen. In a far country that I cannot name, you cannot even count the characters we have in this poem. A king, one, they dwelt in rest and ease and fame. Do you understand? And richer than the emperor is today. Because if they are showing the movie now, we see a big emperor that has money. They will show how he's enjoying his wealth. And they will show this our king. You see that this king is richer than him. The very thought of what this man might say, that's a king, from dusk till dawn, that is from night till morning, kept many a lord awake. That's all his lord, meaning all his chiefs. They will show the movie, they will show all of them gathered in a big hall like this, and they will sit down. Now, I want to say something. And they'll be saying, what does the king want to say? Who knows if we get that? That type of human being. Have you watched, what's this? Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, there's one of the king, one young boy. That guy is wicked. Trying to think about his name. You see him? He said, young was he when he first sat on the throne, and he was wedded to a noble wife. The wife has entered. You see, I mean, if you see when he got lost, you saw many people that later came in that are involved in the story. You know? Okay, what about government driver on his return? I mean, what's his name? Government driver, many years on wheel in faithful service. Remember, the narrator is also involved in the poem. Many years on wheel in faithful service to his fatherland. Today retires he home. Come, friends, rejoice with me. I shall booze, and friends came in. So every genre of literature must have characters. All of them. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I wonder what you are. Okay. When the blazing, he said, then the travelers in the dark, thank you for your shining light. Yes, he could not see which way to go if you do not twinkle so. Are you seeing it? So we've seen people now that are, man, this star is shining, let's walk fast. You see? Song. Okay, watch. Listen. Should I sing one? Watch. Listen, let me use two, Baba. I wake up in the morning and I stretch up my feet. Who wake up? This singer, is he not a character? So it's number one. Say a thank you prayer, then I brush up my teeth. I need to work harder, then I get something to eat, put on a piece of cloth, then I walk into the street. There are no people on the street, then I go to the studio just to hook up some beats. We don't have engineers in the studio. Love what I do and I'm proud about it. Say God is there to give me power. God has entered. Give me power to defeat. If you give me stone instead of give me meat, you have entered. I try to palm it and I try to forget it. Everybody knows that I'm too lazy to quit. Everybody knows I'm physically fit. Everybody knows I'm humble and cool, but some people then take me for a fool. Never. Plenty characters in that one. What? No, I have plenty some. Yeah, because he knows how to touch. Although my finest too, I love P Square. I love P Square. I love P Square a lot too. But that is one thing about arts. What you don't like, others like it. And everything about art is good because as you don't like it, others must like it. As you like it, others will not like it. You see? Favorite actor? In Nigeria. Nigeria, I love a whole lot. I wish I can just be like all of them, but I like Modunlade Adekola. I like him. I like him. No, these guys, I like, in fact, I like him. I like Chinwe Talago. I like him. No, there are people you don't mention that you, anyone I do not mention I like. That means the likeness is more than 100%. Or you don't understand. There are people you cannot. Do you know Columbus Hero Sanga? Do you know Peter Doche? Do you know Sam Dede? Do you know? See Ramsinoa? See this is with Michael. See Destiny Chico. These guys are wonderful. They are, in fact, they know how to do lines. They are very good. So if I don't mention the name, that means that one is exceptional. Or you don't get my point. So if you go to if you go abroad, one of my finest, I love Harrison Ford. I love Nicolas Cage. You know, Nicolas Cage, is he Transporter? I think he's Transporter. Very good actor. My favorite author. Hey, living or dead?
JB Clark, you like that guy? I'm talking about oh, Slipper. I mean, a slipper.
So, there's one thing all these guys, I love Maya Angelou. I like her. You may shout me down on the street. You may shout me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may shut me in the very depth, but still, like air, I rise. If you like, press me down, I'll still arise. Does my sexiness offend you? And all that? No, if you read some of these guys' poems, listen to some of their poems, you will like them so much. J.P. Clark is fine. I love Gabriel Okara so much. Gabriel Okara, I laugh. How did they do this? Trying to recall that poem. I like Kofi Awuno. The one that did Song of Sorrow. He's a very good writer too. I like Niyo Shundari. I like him. The one that did Not My Business. Yes. Yeah. I like him. I like plenty of them. I like Ladewa Sonu of Ghana. I like Jody Graft of South Africa. That's of Ghana too. I like JM Kodzi of South Africa. Fine guys. I like Jody Graft. Jody Graft is a fine playwright, fine dramatist, fine poet. He's a Ghanaian writer. Very good. Yeah. Oh, musician. My best is Lucky Dube. Yeah, but it's not gone to me. Okay, content creators. Do they really create content? But I like what's this guy? This guy that wears green. Wears green. No. Green shirt, long sleeve. Green shirt, I like you. That's my number one. Then you know what? You know those I like again? I like small boys with big brains. I like Pella so much. Small boys with big brains. Small boys. I like small. I like Rema. Do I know? I don't know. It's your own group. So where are we? We have just entered character. So if you want to even say something, character should be, I think after the author, the second element of literature should be character. Because they are very important. They are very, very, very important. This story that I just gave out wouldn't have been interesting if there are no characters. And if you check all the characters, they are good. They know what they are doing. All of them. Which character do you feel pity for most? I feel for... Okay. Okay. In this book, I feel for the innocent Sikla boy. Wuthering Heights. That's the small catering or the first one. I think I will pity for the smaller Catherine. That's the child of Catherine. Yes. Because the first time to the marriage was not up to 6 months. The husband died, and the father-in-law forced her to leave her father's house where she will be happy, brought her to this place where she will not even be able to move. You know. But I like what you did, Sha. The best person to feel for should be Ada, among all the books I've spoken about. And now the only problem we have now, the biggest problem we have now is that despite the pain that Ada has gone through, she has still not left this world. She's still here. She's still inside here. Second class with Buchi Emecheta. No, that's what many people believe. Almost anytime she writes, they will say she's talking about her life. She's just a woman that must have seen one or two things about life. No, you will see tell me now that every night she wrote about, maybe some of you say she's the Catherine, that is Emily Bronte. You will tell me that she's the Catherine here. No, by the time you read, if you read
We just a mother of and she sees 5 children or 4. None of them will know. She has people from the UK, this is the US. I think my boy from Canada. The twins, they got married to each other. Nobody cares about them. You know, goes in the street of the Australia. One day, you don't let me know to the last one. Let me go see that. And she realized, I'm feeling sick, she went down and died. Then the children came and they said, there's no burial at the and the author, and the last sentence is, he knows who had it all, but she never answered the last issue.
there is a sequel, there's a part 2 to the book. They'll be going through pain that their mother went through. And they'll be praying, going to all the churches. No church can solve it because the mother is crying in the grave. She never answers prayers for children. She never had children. She suffered before she had children. So the joy of motherhood is to have children. Nego had it all. She had everything. But the pain they inflicted on her, she never answers prayers. So if you look at that ending and this ending, you then start. When I was teaching students that book, Joys of Motherhood, rumors came that that is the life of Buchi Emecheta. We also read this one. Rumors came that this is the life of Buchi Emecheta. Are you the father? Have you interviewed her? Buchi Emecheta, she lives a good life. If you look at her in the US now, doing the jobs, not like this one. Why are you talking like this? Listen, all her life in the white man's country, that is Buchi Emecheta, she's not suffering. I don't know if you understand. She's not suffering. She's a master storyteller. She's a village in Delta State, here close to Ogbashuku before Asaba. Yeah. All right. Character. I'll explain them. Then you look at the types of character which we've been seeing. We've been seeing them. Okay, your heart cut. No, let us. The moment we start, I will -3 first. Don't worry. This man is owing us 1. Don't worry. I think I forgot. You are owing us 1 point. I think he held his book. And what happened? What did they do that? So I've given you some types of character. Let's we'll still touch them later, but not now. Okay, and characterization. Characterization involves the description of the characters in a work of art. The description of the characters in a work of art. Description of the characters in a work of art. This description and character assessment. This description and character assessment. This description and character assessment. Okay. This description and character assessment work hand in hand. This description and character assessment work hand in hand. And they can only be achievable. They can only be achievable. And they can only be achievable. They can only be achievable. They can only be achievable. They can only be achievable based on the following. They can only be achievable based on the following. They can only be achievable based on the following. 1. Then maybe later, if you have more, you can tell me, but I know only 3. 1. What the author says about the character. What the author says about the character. What the author says about the character. 2. What a character says about another character. What a character says about another character. What it says about another character. 3. What a character says about himself. 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 Full stop. Now, let's look at this. What can make you characterize? Now, to characterize means to describe a character. Remember, if there is no book, you cannot even see a character first. Are you following me? Let's say, for instance, look at this. Let's say Emily Bronte